Today I'm going to talk with you about why I strongly support Amendment B that will be on the upcoming ballot and why I hope it doesn't get overshadowed by some of the more controversial amendments that are going to be on the ballot. Hi, welcome to Mondays with Marcia. I'm Representative Marcia Judkins from the Utah State House of Representatives, and I'm here to talk Utah politics with you. What Amendment B does is it raises the cap on the distribution from the Utah School Trust Lands Funds that is distributed to all schools in Utah from 4% to 5%. About 240 years ago, the Continental Congress set aside land to be used for the funding of public education. And they did this because they were committed to having an educated citizenry and also because they were concerned about the sporadic development of public schools as our nation grew. So about 110 years later, when Utah became a state, they were granted about a ninth of the public lands in Utah to be used for public education. About 1.5 million more acres was set aside to help fund other like higher ed institutions and the School for the Deaf and Blind and some other things. Proceeds from these lands went into a permanent fund to help generate revenue for our public schools. The School Land Trust Program, which was established in 1999, distributes a portion of the annual earnings to public schools all over the state. The annual distribution of these funds has grown from about $4.95 million in 2001 to close to $102 million currently. And that has been an increase of about $10 per student up to about $150 per student currently. The permanent school fund from which these distributions are drawn is at over $3.3 billion. And so that is why they're thinking we can increase that percentage that's being distributed. This perpetual endowment provides funding for critical academic needs that are identified by each school's community council. These community councils are made up of parents and educators from each individual school. Funding for public education is not keeping up with the needs of our students or with the mandates that the legislature keeps passing out every year. And so this funding is actually very critical to the functioning of each of our public schools. The decisions on how to spend this money are best made at a local level, and this is such a great example of local control. Every school has a community council, and they are the ones that decide how this money is spent. But there are safeguards, and it has to be spent on critical academic needs. I served on my own children's community councils at their schools, and I also, when I was on the school board, I went to every school in my district's community councils multiple times during the school year. I have seen the amazing ways that this money has gone to help improve schools. Some of the things that I've seen it spent on are mini grants for teachers to help them in their classrooms, para-educators to help tutor students that are struggling, gifted programs, books for school libraries, and that's just a little bit of how I've seen this money be spent. If you would like to find out more about this program and how this money is spent, you can go to schools.utah.gov, then look under School Land Trust. So I just want to recap this. Raising this cap costs taxpayers nothing. It simply increases the cap of what can be distributed out of this fund that is growing at a faster rate than we are distributing funds out of it. Established at statehood, the Permanent School Fund is an endowment that is meant to benefit the school children of our state. And it is used on the most critical needs that are identified locally by parents and educators. And finally, Amendment B is not related to any other amendment that is on the ballot. So I hope you will join me in voting yes on Amendment B. If you're not registered to vote, go to vote.utah.gov and get registered today. It's really easy. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any questions or comments.